Emma dreams of stars. Inside the Gourmet Guide review. Are you a foodie? Have you ever wondered why and how the coveted Michelin stars are assessed and awarded? This fascinating member of Emmanuel Massonov and food journalist Julia Patlovich reveals some of the secrets of the world of the inspector, as well as telling her own story as a young man, passionate about good food, trying to make her own in predominantly male world of expertise. It's full of pictures and information about French and Japanese cuisine too. So ready, it is almost starting to make you hungry. When I first met Emmanuel, she's about to begin her training as an inspector for the revered Michelin Guide. The inspectors who take her out on the road are all male and mostly middle-aged, and she encounters concerns about the fact that she's a woman straight away. Some of these, to be fair, are practical and to do with the rigors and potential hazards of traveling from restaurant to restaurant in France alone. They also review photos with restaurants. Emma's background is in cookery, BR. She's worked with renowned chefs Michel Brass, Alain Tossais, and Alain Passard, so her food credentials are excellent. But as she embarks on her training, she'll soon realize that alongside the culinary delights she encounters, there are plenty of disappointments and dire disasters. The cabbage dish that arrives barely warm drum. Her digestion, although robust, begins to protest. Then there's the necessity to travel a long distance by car, and the fact that it's for trial period. She's allocated to the central region of France. Mark, the younger and more sympathetic member of the team who befriends Emma, recognizes his tactic. He tells her that the older inspectors like to keep the top-starred restaurants for themselves, sending the less experienced ones out into the wild regions like Cantal. Interspersed with Emma's adventures as she starts out on her own and as a trainee inspector are the texts popping up on her mobile phone from her partner, Thomas. He's far from happy about her absence, and things are not going to get any easier from now on. Quite the opposite, as Emma travels the length and breadth of France. Yet, when Emma visits Japan, she experiences a revelatory breakthrough in her culinary education. After this life-changing experience, she returns to France with a different perspective and finds herself dissatisfied with the over-rich dishes that she's often offered. Her probationary period comes to an end and she faces the inevitable giving a representation to the other inspectors before being admitted, or not, into the ranks as a fully fledged Michelin inspector. Living and entertaining, as well as informative, Emma Dreams of Stars Inside the Gourmet Guide began life as a bandit etc. First published in France by Les Arenes, and then encountered Kan Takahama's art brief before. She's drawn Senna and Jose works, but her fits the BD format with the distinctly Western feel to the character drawings and use of full color, as well as reading from left to right. The characteristics emotional shorthand employed by mangaka are nowhere to be seen here. This is not a criticism, it's just nothing. Not surprisingly, this is very different from Vertical's usual publications. Mangakas such as Fumi Yoshinaga and Sora Munai have proven it's perfectly possible for a skilled artist to draw enticing plates of food in black and white, but here the added bonus of color gives an extra je size koi. Emil Fogarty's translation from the original French one assumes reads well, and there are plenty of footnotes to context explain the foods that Emma samples and other expressions, such as chapters tending to leave violin the ingress. Emma's lively personality comes across well, make this an engaging read. Localization for the US market leads to some slightly clunky for this reader at least. Use honorifics Mr. or Mr. Dedo or just Miss. Handing are likely to be used these days to address young men and friends. But I suppose it's for coincidency. I honestly would have preferred Monsieur de Dieu, Mademoiselle, Madame for identity instead. Emma Dreams of Stars is an intriguing and entertaining account of a woman determined to make her way into a masculine-dominated profession. It's bound to appeal to fans of French and Japanese food. Obviously, it won't be possible to publish such an account and still be a Michelin inspector. So Emma is described as a former inspector. It seems that she's now writing children's and YA fiction. Rated free review at the publisher's website here. 8/10.